Welcome to Bill and Rob's, an excellent adventure. I'm Bill Tilley.
And I am Rob Schulte. And Bill, we're back. In between seasons, we take a little break, we take a little breather, we take a little planner because we want to plan for what's coming next. And we've been innovating. I think everyone knows that we're innovators, right? We're always changing things up.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the Bill and Rob's Patreon where you can see the back catalog of everything. Back catalog of everything.
A new business that you haven't told me about with the company funds there, Rob?
Yeah, it's called T-Bone Podcast.
Whoa.
But now
Rob.
we occasionally stream on Twitch, and no matter what, all of the episodes then land behind that Bill and Rob's Patreon paywall. But sometimes people can't afford that. So we say, you know what, if they're lucky enough, they can see us live on Twitch, like I said, or now maybe Instagram Live. We're shaking it up. We're feeling things out. We're still going to do some episodes that are only available on Patreon, but we're hoping to give people a little taste of what we're after. And today is the start of a new series. Now, Bill, some people may not know that last series we did, yours, Macho Cheese, one of our highest downloaded seasons yet. People loved it. They're like, so much cheese, so much macho. Any thoughts reflecting on that?
I look forward to doing Macho Cheese, more macho, more cheese at some point, because I think we made the note that I like the movies we watched, but I know we could definitely up the macho and up the cheese. There's lots of those movies I enjoy watching them. It's kind of a great umbrella to fall under, but I like that they kind of sit there because, like all the stuff that we have, don't want to get stale, don't want to get in a rut. So it keeps us honest and keeps everything moving around and interesting for everybody.
It's so true. We can't oil up all the muscles in one season. That's what I always say.
Don't tell that to Baywatch.
Well, Baywatch is its own planet. But Bill, I wanted to discuss, now it's out. You chose last season. This is my season. And I'm calling it Kingquels, which is a horrible portmanteau of Stephen King sequels. Is that a portmanteau? I think so. Anyway, I've merged two words together, Stephen King and sequel. And we are watching for the next 6 weeks sequels to Stephen King movies. And like today's, we're starting with Sometimes They Come Back Again from 1996. Now, Bill, we have our patented way we like to cover movies on Bill and Rob's An Excellent Adventure, but we always start the exact same way, and that is by reading the back of the box. Now, Bill, would you like to explain to people how we came up with the idea of back of the box?
Well, we came up with the idea that we talk about these movies, we watch them, but not everybody else has. And what's the best way to shop for a movie or to get the gist of a movie? What it used to be? Go to the back of that VHS box, just like you were in the video store, and give it a read and see if it's something that you want. And pray to God, or maybe not, that what's written on it is true or not true. It just depends. It's that spicy little bit of text that just kicks off the whole experience. So Rob, of course, has an entire salt mine below his house, well protected, only accessible by retina scan, and a very small Rob-shaped elevator. So weird, only he can fit in it, like an outline.
Yes.
And he goes down there and he pulls the VHS copy of whatever movie we're watching, and he reads the back of that box to let you all know what this movie's about.
But of course, I'm legally required to never show the boxes, or else the mystery, it might give too much away about my salt mine full of movies. But I am holding it right below camera right now, and the back of the box for Sometimes They Come Back Again from 1996 goes like this. In this terrifying sequel to the highly successful Stephen King hit, Jon Porter returns to his hometown after the sudden and bizarre death of his mother. He hopes to leave as soon as the funeral is over, but it's too late. The sinister forces that caused his sister's brutal murder 30 years ago are back. Jon knows the nightmare can't continue. He must stand up to his fear and exorcise the demons who have risen again to take possession of his beautiful teenage daughter, body and soul. Bill,
Two-pack.
this is very scary. This is a scary premise for a movie. Now, let me ask you, have you ever seen the first one or read Sometimes They Come Back?
My first answer to the first one was no, until I went and looked at it again with some screen caps, and I'm fairly certain I've seen it. I'm in the 95 percentile that I have seen that movie once somewhere long ago.
Well, I believe
Very little memory.
it was a made-for-TV movie, right?
Right.
Yeah, so
Which
it would have played on repeat every now and again.
it might have. If I watched it, I will tell you it was because Tim Matheson's in it. And,
Yes.
love me some Tim Matheson. So that would have hooked me in. So I'm sure when I saw it, that's why I watched it. It was long ago and far away. So I had no relation or information to link these two movies together when I watched this sequel.
Well, and that leads me to think that maybe you had the same experience with Sometimes They Come Back Again.
I don't think I did. I don't think I would, because having watched the sequel and then backtracked a little, because part of what we do for our show here is we try to go out and look for some things about it.
Yeah.
And while I was doing that, when you type in the sequels of movie, and they do this thing where the name is mostly the name of the first movie, you get all the sequels and all the things. So it popped up, and I'm like, looks awfully familiar. And once I put the two things together, I'm like, oh, okay, I remember that other movie. Just watched this movie, and the thought is, are these two actually a sequel?
Yeah, we find that a lot. Like, I mean, Twisters came out not too long ago. Is it really a sequel, or is it just another movie with a similar name?
I think it's another movie with a similar name. I think it's based in the same universe.
Sure.
It's the same kind of stuff, but it's not a sequel per se.
No.
I don't believe so.
And this reminds me of a dislike that I need to update later on in our episode, because you just pronged something in my head that I think we're going to want to talk about, Bill.
I hope so. That's why we do this.
And that's probably just the perfect segue into our patented segments, stuff that everyone's clamoring for. They're like, give us those segments. We need to hear you talk about this movie. Could we go plot synopsis by plot synopsis? Sure, but you could just watch the movie at that point. You want to hear Bill and I's takes. They're strong takes, Bill. And I'm talking in like the third person, but I need to be talking to you. Bill, we always start with some factoids about the movie, some fun little interesting tidbits. And we give these segments clever little names. And the clever name I've come up with for this segment, for this episode, is Sometimes There Are Facts.
I don't know how to
Or should I change it on the fly to Sometimes They Come Facts?
Oh. See, that second one really gets me right in the cheesy, non-macho part of my heart.
Yes.
The pure cheese part.
Sometimes
I
Come
applaud
Facts. Yes, thank you. Would you like to go first, or should I?
I would like to go first, because I'd like to preface this with the fact that finding facts about this movie was damn near impossible.
Yes, totally agree. Agree.
My facts are facts, but more of like, oh, that's an interesting thing. And it's I'm finding this is sad, because I love that we delve into this kind of way off the tracks or forgotten stuff, but I keep thinking, in the age of the internet, surely these things are around. It is surprising how hard it is to find anything when there's a story for every movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of makes me sad that we haven't been able to find more of these things for more of them. But you get what you get. So my first fact is a cast fact. there is an actress in this movie called Jennifer Elise Cox. She plays Jules. I'm not sure if she's psychic. She kind of plays one because she reads tarot cards and she feels things. She's definitely the supernatural element of the girl group. And when she first came on screen, as she's playing her character, my first thought came like, oh, this girl looks like an evil Jan Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept looking at her, and I thought, nah. Well, turns out I was right, because Jennifer Lee Cox played Jan Brady in the Brady Bunch movies in the 90s.
Which came out like before and after this film, I think.
Yeah, I think the Brady Bunch sequel was somewhere around 95.
Oh, really?
The Brady Bunch movie, and then the Brady Bunch sequel, I think, was like 98. So this should be right in the pocket of there. So, yeah, I mean, just how she tilts her head and how she has to look creepy or just weirded out. It's the perfect movie Jan that just had that psychotic smile on her face. So it made me laugh once I found out that I was actually right about that. So interesting.
Man. I love that. I was the same way. I was like, I know this person from somewhere. I know this actor. And then I was like, oh, it's the new Jan Brady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. New then. Kind of vintage now, too.
Yeah.
And her co-star in this movie, Jennifer Aspin, it turns out she was in this very Brady sequel, too, but she didn't play one of the kids. She played a different character. But it turns out a lot of Brady in this movie.
A lot of Brady.
This movie is actually set in the Brady Bunch universe.
Wouldn't I have to think, what's his name from Family Ties who plays Jon Porter?
Michael Gross.
Yeah, I think he's got to be in one of those 90s Brady movies too, right?
Probably. Yeah. I know he definitely made his run with like making 900 Chummers movies.
Yeah. Which maybe we'll cover one day on Bill and
Maybe.
Maybe not. Maybe on Pumpkin Spice Podcast. Maybe not. Well, Bill, my first fact is rest in peace, the late Alexis Arquette, who plays Tony in this film, also played and starred in another Stephen King sequel that is one of my favorite Stephen King sequels. So Alexis, she was a veteran Stephen King sequel film star, and that would be Children of the Corn 5, Fields of Terror from 1998, which is essentially the Gen X Children of the Corn movie, where a bunch of like kids in leather coats and sunglasses stumble upon the Children of the Corn. It's a wonderful film to put on. I promise you that.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to pit Gen Xers against the Children of the Corn, speaking from that generation, my money's on us.
Yes.
We knew how to work everything. We could work a switchblade comb. You know, we could hit somebody over the head with a pair of high tops like nobody's business.
Of course. And then you'd put those sunglasses on and smoke a cigarette and be on with your day and not care about anything else.
That's it. Do what you got to do. I teach these latchkey kids a lesson.
Well, what else you got, Bill?
This is a fact, but it's something that just kind of struck me about this movie that we watched. This quote unquote sequel is a straight to video movie. But like you mentioned, the original movie is not a feature film. It's a TV movie. And I found that odd. I'm just surprised that you could do that route, because normally, you make a first film, it makes enough money that somebody makes something else and then they don't release it in the movie theaters, they stick it out on video. So how somebody made the leap from this TV project, I mean, I guess because it has Stephen King's name on it was good enough.
Sure.
I'd really like to know how this got transitioned from one to the other, because it's just not something that I'm aware of seeing very often at all.
Yeah, and not to mention, and I'm sure we'll talk about it later on in this season, but the fact that there's also another one, right? Like, you would think this would have been the nail in the coffin for Sometimes They Come Back, but...
Well, I mean, I guess. I mean, if it got enough rental, or
sure.
I'm guessing it didn't,
good point.
Made enough they got enough return on their investment that it was cheap enough to just make another one, I suppose.
Yeah, I
But,
guess when
you
it
know,
just
not
goes
like-
down to dollars and cents, then
Yeah,
if they can make one.
not like Hollywood would ever drive a concept into the ground for no good
No.
reason. Come on.
No, of course
Come on.
not. They've got our best interests at heart.
All the time.
Well, Bill, my other fact is director Adam Grossman wrote one episode of a television show called First Wave, which I feel is a show that you and I should know, but I had never heard of this. Had you ever heard of First Wave?
No.
Well, I've written the little explainer from IMDb here, and I'll tell you, it sounds just dumb enough that I want to watch every single episode. Framed for murder and on the run, a former thief struggles to expose the vanguard of an alien invasion with the help of a conspiracy theorist and newly discovered prophecies of Nostradamus.
Wow.
Does that not pique your fancy a little bit?
Wow. It sure does. I mean, it kind of gives me Gene Roddenberry's insert title here vibes a little bit. But, you know, hey, I don't say that in a bad way. I'm down for anything like that. I'll give it a shot, one way or the other. But yeah, I mean, especially, well, Nostradamus. I mean, hey, Nostradamus had his time in the sun.
Multiple.
Yeah, there was, he was definitely at his peak popularity at this time. So,
Yeah.
they got
Maybe
the fan
his
clubs.
comeback time was 1997 or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's cosplaying him at Halloween parties,
True.
He had his own cereal, Prophesios, all the rage. I'm sure all this happened.
Bill, I'm going to try a little filter on my face. Ooh, look at me.
Oh, look at you. You look like one of the movies we used to watch when I was in school. Oh, dear
Look
Lord.
at that mustache.
Unsettling.
I'm trying to find a good... look, this is like the Bill and Rob filter.
Yeah.
This is great. See, this is what you're missing out, folks, if you're not watching the video of these.
You got your grindhouse filter on.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to it in a segment where we talk about all of the things we liked about the film. And I'm calling it Sometimes We Like Things. Can you tell I forgot to put titles on these just before?
It's one of the greatest achievements
Yes.
of this podcast was happening right in front of me right now.
Oh, yeah.
I love every second of this.
Well, Bill, I'll start this one. Which one of these do I'll start with the more general fun thing. The set piece under the church with the creepy old paintings and books. I guess it's like a William Morgan Shepherd's man cave in this film. Looked great. It was everything we wanted from like the quote religious creepy den in all the right ways. I loved it, like the discovery of the extra Bible books and prophecies and devil worship and here's where you cut off your thumb instructions are great set. There's some great sets throughout this film, but that's one that's like, okay, we got to spend our money on something and have a big cave painting on the wall. This is the one.
Absolutely. And I tell you, I was shocked at this set because we are introduced to it from Michael Gross going in to the church, which is kind of creepy, finding the hole in the floor, climbing it. This thing is remarkably well lit. Remarkably well lit.
Yes.
My first note on that was like, it must take him half a day to light all these candles. And it really made me happy. I'm like, you have to have good lighting to read all these old prophecy books. Nobody sits in a dark basement doing important, religious, technical, world busting, hacking work. You need light.
Yes.
And William Morgan Shepherd put light into his secret man cave. And I was there for it.
Let there be light, man. Let there be light
Absolutely.
in the basement of the church dungeon man cave.
Could have used a little better in and out egress. He's an old man going up
Yeah.
and down that little rickety ladder.
Yeah. I would have thought that would have been the death of him, but it ended up being something else. But
No. He did not die of a broken hip.
No. Bill, what's something that you liked in this film?
Well, easily. It's that man. I mean, I can you get a better creepy funeral crashing Warner of the Apocalypse than William Morgan Shepherd? He's amazing. You can't. It made me so happy to see him in this part. Also made me a little bit sad because in my view, we don't get enough of him. I feel like he gets Michael Ironsided in this movie.
Yes.
A bit. Now, we get more of him than we got in Ironsides in the Children of the Corn movie, but he's kind of set up to do something, and then he doesn't really get to do it. But when he's on screen, doing his bit with the way he looks, with his able to look at you two people in different directions across the room way, it's great. He's the you kind of want your Warner or protector from the devil. You don't want him pretty. You need a guy that's seen some stuff.
And they have to have a floppy hat.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, you carry off floppy hat two ways. You carry it off like William Morgan Shepherd, you're maybe the savior of the universe. You carry it off like, Ezekiel from Children of the Corn. You're bad. That's bad news.
Yeah.
Everything in the middle's Kingpins, Randy Quaid and Kingpin. So
that's true.
There's your floppy hat Venn diagram. Fill it in as you will.
Someone please draw this floppy hat Venn diagram so that we can accept it, put it up on the Patreon page, and give total credit for all of its
100%.
glory.
100%.
Should I send our live to Rick Springfield?
Why not?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Bill, he's a working man. Needs a break.
He's the working man's working man.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my other thing that I liked. Granted, there's plenty of things to like about the film. We just narrow it down to 2 per segment. So
correct.
This is one I felt that I needed to mention. And that the year is 1996 when this comes out. And I feel like there were some people talking about casting. And they're like, well, it's 1995, 1996. We have to throw Patrick Renna in the film. He's had Sandlot. He's had The Big Green. He's had various other films. There's a child friend role in this movie who's also kind of horny. We need to give it to Patrick Renna. And did you know the name he's credited as, Bill?
No.
Patrick Renna's character is named Young Alan, which makes me think at some point there was an old Alan that was cut from the film.
So yeah, I mean, these movies, I know that the first movie has multiple characters in it. It's several kids that were involved in the thing. I think it's almost, isn't it kind of like It style where there's the group and there's several.
Not exactly. It's pretty much just what's his name from Black Sheep? Your boy, the main guy, and
Tim Matheson.
Tim Matheson and his brother.
Oh,
so. But you can tell, Stephen King, has this idea that he spreads throughout all these stories. But
right,
yeah.
But yeah, normally if you're going to put this much screen time on, this is my childhood buddy. Normally, they'll put that childhood buddy in the adult version of it somewhere. He's still
unless they die as a child, which didn't happen.
No, yeah, as far as we know,
sure.
No. But yeah, it is weird to get that much screen time for young. I'm not going to call him his best friend because I don't think he could possibly be his best friend because he's kind of a real jerk and absolute horn dog.
The friend you're forced to be friends with because they live in the same cul-de-sac.
Yeah. I mean, that's a weird dynamic when one of your friends is hanging out in the treehouse, asking you very inappropriate questions about your sister.
Yeah.
While you kind of young John kind of fields them off almost like he's, I don't know, like he's a job interviewer or something. Alan will say something about his sister, and he'll be like, "Come on,
all right,
not gross, get away from me."
Yeah, not like that's inappropriate, sir.
No.
Well, what's your final thing that you would like to point out as a like?
So this one hit a little close to home. John's mom's house is the perfect old lady house. Like, we see a lot of this house, and my mother was a significant amount of years older than me, so I got to see how she decorated her house, my aunts, her friends, and this is a time period. These are the ladies, how they do it. This is their aesthetic. A million ceramic pigs sitting around and creepy doll babies, but just like everything from the incredibly wild patterns of mismatched china to the one room looks really great with its really blue antique wallpaper, but then the stairway's got a big crack running down. I mean, when they open the drawers, all the furniture's old. It's just of its time. The set decorators nailed it. I don't know if that was their intent. I don't know if they found this place and were allowed to film there, but everything about this house was 100% real. There was nothing about it that was like, this is Hollywood's idea of an old lady's house. I've been in this house many times. This is it.
Very much like a Psycho 2 house as well.
Yeah.
It's been lived
kind
in,
of.
but it was very real, down to the fact that she reaches not for Band-Aids, but for plastic strips.
Now, there is the one thing that I thought was funny that, this John's mom, the actress that played her, very short.
Yes.
Old houses, very tall cupboards. And inevitably, your mom, your grandma, whatever, they will put like a crucial item that should probably be easily accessed on a shelf that is far too high every single time.
Every time. So, it's too bad.
She set herself up for the devil, taking her out right there with those high stored Band-Aids.
The devil didn't kill her.
Plastic.
The devil, plastic strips. The devil didn't kill her, Bill. The devil just moved the plastic strips.
That's true. She was not stuck on Band-Aid. She was stuck on the ceramic pig that she fell reaching for the Band-Aids.
Well, Bill, they can't all be glorious things of set decor and characters.
Really?
Sometimes we have to dislike things, and that's also the name of this segment. Sometimes we dislike things. So, Bill, I do think that you should go first with one of the longer portions in our outline I've ever seen, I think. And I think because I think you make a really good point here that like will fuel some of the other dislikes that we're going to mention.
Yeah, this is one of my longer notes, but Rob will know, though behind the scenes, that when something really hits me one way or the other, it's just word salad blowing out of me when it comes to these things. So the thing I don't like about this movie is the sense of obliviousness in the story. That's what I've called it. So in these movies, you watch them, and the protagonists of the movie, as they transition through the movie story, they start to see things or learn things as they go that lets them accept or act on whatever these crazy, supernatural, mystical situations are. Because, at some point, guy doesn't believe in ghosts, has to believe in ghosts. And then he has to do something. But these people, by and large, including the demons, do not do this. They are living in a place that made very little sense to me. As the movie went along, I was at very specific points every so often going, why? It can't be right. And then I just started writing like John's mom. The opening scene, she's washing a knife in the sink. She's washing it by holding it, and she's running her hand down the blade under the water in the sink. Of course she slices her hand open. Nobody does this. Nobody would do this for any reason whatsoever. Jon Porter, later, he comes face to face with the unaged killer of his sister from 30 years ago in his mom's living room where he's staying, looks him straight in the face and doesn't really recognize him. He goes, I don't know what it is about that guy. I don't like, he's the dude that killed your sister.
Yeah.
What's
That's
up,
not
man?
like casual guy that used to bag your groceries.
No, it's not like, oh, that's this, that's the kid I went to college with that I had that one class with that he was cool. Like, there's an entire moment where there's a giant crime scene and they kill a pig and there's blood all over the kitchenettes and that he calls the cops, but then he cleans everything up and then calls the cops and then yells at them because they don't see anything.
Yeah. And this guy has a doctorate, like he's not uneducated.
No, they look him right in the face and like, you cleaned it up. And then the character of Maria, the two of the girls, there's Maria and Jules, becomes friend with John's daughter, the Hilary Swank character, Michelle. Maria is clearly the horny one of the group. You got to have one. But she goes in this movie from terrified out of her mind for what's happening to so horny she can't not travel out of a place with a strange dude into the woods to make
insane. I mean, I know people were bored before the internet, but come on.
I mean, the daughter Michelle, when they get back towards the climax of the movie, when they get back to the church with the mystical object, she opts to stay, leave her father, and stay in the dark, scary, dilapidated church instead of going into the well-lit basement with lights.
With someone else.
With her father. I mean, and then I'm thinking, this whole movie, why did they let Jon Porter live? They could kill him. The demons could kill him at any point. And they don't. They let him live. They gladly walked into the death pool at the end they walked into at the beginning of the movie just so he can attempt to kill them in the way he sort of killed them 30 years ago. Why wasn't this cave sealed? Why is there power? I mean, you put all these moments together and it's all just too much to accept. You just can't believe anything you're seeing on screen and you can't understand why nobody else sees it. It's just like, what is this movie trying to do? It's crazy.
And look, I'm over 40 years old now, so I can officially say we're both old guys, Bill.
True.
And we're not just like cinema sins dudes, right?
But it's
when things just pile one on top of the other, you're kind of like, whoa. There's just too much going on that doesn't make sense. You could simplify this thing and have a hell of a lot more fun.
Yeah. I mean, that is the overarching thing of it is, when you watch a movie, you're watching a movie, but you have to think that the people inside the movie aren't watching the movie. They're living this. This is their life. And there are just certain ways that human beings act. There are certain traits that everybody has. If somebody walks up to you and all of a sudden they turn into a demon, you're going to have to suddenly at that moment start accepting that maybe there are demons.
Yes.
Granted, it's crazy, but that's what just happened. And just kind of looking at everybody through this whole movie going, what are you doing? Why are you doing that now? Why would you do this way? Why would you just do this? It kind of just takes all the energy out of you for even caring it for any of it at any point. And just kind of, you're going, all right, now I'm just marking time to see where we get to the end. So
yeah,
that's my overarching problem with this movie.
Well, Bill, that just reminds me talking about my birthday. I just want to make sure. I think this happened, but you got your China O'Brien birthday gift, right? When I did that.
I did.
Okay, cool. So you've finally been able to have the option to watch China O'Brien 2?
I had the option. I haven't got to do it yet.
Same. I was going to say, because if you haven't watched China O'Brien 2, neither have I. And I do think that should be a Christmas gift to ourselves later this year.
I'm down.
For an episode.
Totally down for it.
Okay. Great. Well, Bill, building off of that dislike you just said, everything, I agree with it all. But the one thing I'm also going to add to it, I got this strain of hair going over here. The movie's too clean, right? It's like when a low budget movie is too clean, it looks like a soap opera almost, right? Like the demon guys don't look like they're from the 50s. They look like they're from Hot Topic in 1996. And when you compare it to the like greaser type dudes from the first one, which isn't like an amazing film either, but it still looks authentically real, right? Like they look like they stepped out of a time machine and aren't like I'm sorry, Alexis Arquette looks like a movie star, right? Like there's a
Right.
lot of makeup on this actor, and I feel like yes, the greasers in the first one look like movie stars too, but also look like they were at the malt shop, throwing switchblades around.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's a weird look.
Yeah.
And the thing that really sort of caught me the most of it was there's a decent amount of them being in the daytime in this movie. A lot of daytime stuff in this movie. And there's an overall scene at the end on the dam where all the demon boys are together and it's bright daylight.
Yeah.
And seeing them in their demon makeup in the bright daylight, it just looks, this looks wrong. I mean, it just does. It looks like somebody's gone and just got the best makeup that Spirit Halloween has to offer.
Yep.
And put it on. It's there's times when you don't want your audience to see.
You need the masquerade of the evening or night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Use some imagination.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to use that to your advantage. And this movie does not do that.
Well, Bill, what's the other thing you wanted to point out that you disliked?
Well, Rob, you'll know my patented love for exploring the ins and outs of the music of a movie every so often. So much that I made a segment at one point about it. But that's my other thing I dislike. And I think we've had other examples of this. The music in this movie is relentless. It's relentless. It is all treacly piano and the choir voice, and it to show you, tell you how you should be feeling instead of just making you feel that way. And it never stops. It's like this constant build of music, but the movie doesn't constantly build towards anything. It just stomps on and on and on. And then when you get to a moment that should be a tension building moment and is trying to do that, the music just steps all over it because it's been there this whole time. It just ratchets up and it becomes what great musicians have said that I've quoted before. They'll say the music should not be a character. You shouldn't notice the music. It should be in the background. You notice it and you feel it as you go along, but you don't notice it. And this one's just way too heavy-handed. And it's not really outside of when they play whatever the weird hip-hop 50s cover songs they play. Like, it's the same tone, same thing all the way. And that's not how you do a good backing track, especially for a horror movie. You got to let this movie breathe. And this movie does not breathe.
Totally agree. On that same token, Bill, there's something I really disliked, and that was like a total, like, I don't want to always compare it to the first one, but I have to say, like, this is something that was good about the first one and not good about this one. And that's that they like explain the demon magic in this one. Not only do they explain like how to take the demons down through like whatever Necronomicon or whatever the priest gives Family Ties dad, but you also see Tony like taking teeth and grinding them with a mortar and pestle and like doing a pentagram and all this sort of stuff. Whereas in the first one, it was just like every time a kid died, a new greaser came back. And it was like this huge mystery, not that didn't need to be solved because it was just like, sometimes they come back, like that's just, and the title says it all. Yeah. Sometimes they come back. Like, I don't need to know anything else. And guess what? It's creepy when they come back. I don't need to know that like a spell is cast by a demon to bring back his new demon, new metal brother from a puddle of ooze. Like, it's just, sometimes they come back and that's all I need.
Rob, did you get any Tenacious D vibes like I did, Pick a Destiny style in that scene?
Yes. And not in a good way. Like
not in a good way at all. Not at all.
Well, Bill, before we rate the films, we like to wrap up with one final segment. And it's what we thought that, may have been good, may have been bad, but over anything, it was amusing. And the amusing moment segment we've titled this episode is Sometimes We're Amused.
You see, folks, that's a pro. He brought it all the way around and he brought it home. I couldn't love him more for what he just did. It was amazing.
I'll start. The rules in this movie, and I know I talked about how we can't get too nitpicky on a sequel to a made-for-TV movie of a book that doesn't exist, but the rules don't make sense. So Tony can get shot in the head as a demon, which all it really does is delay him and turn him back into his demon form and not his human form. But if he's standing in a puddle and electrocuted, he gets sent back to hell for a period of time. Like, we saw him as a kid get electrocuted, but he came back. So, and I know there's like the end of credits sequence where he's talking about a guy who's afraid of the dark or something, and like, oh, the demon shows his face again. It's like a final jump scare. But like, what are the rules? They like you said, they never killed Jon Porter. They could at any point in time, but it's like they want to play. Like if there was anything that was like, oh, we can't kill him until the third full moon or something, then that would make sense.
Right.
But there's nothing.
No, it didn't make any
And that's
sense
amusing
at all.
to me.
It is amusing because I always have the same thought. It's amazing what electricity can do
Yeah.
in movies. It can do everything from bring you back to life to send you to hell. It never fails. Don't know why. It's not explained. But also, there's points in this movie right around the 3/4 mark where Reno tells Jon Porter, basically, he murdered his family over the years. He used his agency while he was still in hell.
Yeah.
He's not a person at this point to kill and manipulate and do all these things. So he's never gone and he's never been gone. That's what the movie has told us. So
Why did he have to come back?
Why did he have to come back? And if he came back and you got him out of the house, he sure as hell coming back again because he's already done it once. So there is no end of this movie. There's no finish line because he's already done it once. It is so strange and so mind-numbing at some point that it just kind of all sort of flows together. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay, fine.
Well, what's one for you? What's an amusing moment that you found?
Okay. So this is the best part about being able to also watch these movies, not only on a vintage VHS machine like we do, but if you're going to do your research, you can watch it digitally. So there's the point where Michelle is going through grandma's stuff and she's going through the clippings of John's sister Lisa's murder from 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, props usually go by incredibly fast in movies. You rarely get to linger on a thing. We all know, there's fake papers, fake this, fake pictures, whatever. But you can pause in my world on my computer, and I did, because being a journalist, having a journalism degree, and loving printing, as the paper is going by, we got a nice shot of the article about her death. So I could pause it and read it because I wondered, is it just Laura Ipsum, or is it words? It was words. So the prop master wrote an entire article, and there is a part in the article. It reads like a normal newspaper story where they're interviewing the officer that found Lisa's body all those years ago. And I quote, the officer on the scene says, "I've never seen anything like it. I thought I was going to toss my Twinkies." That prop maker was having a great day. He had so much fun writing this because look, I've been in the office, and I will tell you, the editor, one rule about newspapers, at least back in those days, I'm not going to say it now because nobody really cares, but you were never supposed to make the subject of your interview look stupid. Even if they were stupid, you use their words. You don't make them up, but
people can infer things. You're right.
You don't have to use the whole sentence with the dumb part if the first part will get you by. So any editor worth his salt would have 100% red penned that out of existence. Prop maker had a great day with it. He was having a little fun, and that's the kind of person I want on my movie.
Yeah,
I want somebody to go that little extra mile for something that in the theater or on DVD, guarantee you never would have seen it
Yeah.
in a million years.
Man.
But he knew it was there. He got a laugh out of it, and so did I. So I wish I could tell him or her.
Not to mention that one of Stephen King's books is in the bureau drawer when Porter's going through it. Dark Tower 2, I believe.
Yeah,
but that wasn't as amusing as just the general idea of this movie not knowing if it wants to be horny or not. Like, it'll be a super psychological, like, this man is being tormented by his dreams, and then it'll also be like Alexis Arquette giving his nude demon buddy a back massage after exiting hell. What is it? What are we trying to do here, folks?
This is a good question. This is an interesting thing that you brought up to me because I'm just now having the thought. Now
and I should say,
seen horror movies.
I gendered Alexis Arquette a him there because the character is a him in that scene. Just
Tony Reno's a boy.
Yes.
And then the character of Tony Reno is a boy or a man. Because horror movies have this stereotype, which is often true, that, they work in some TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, especially when they're teenagers. It's part of this thing. But Stephen King movies, these are movies that are based off books from a renowned author. They're being sold on their name alone.
Yes.
So do you think that there are people who are always pitching to say, if we don't have a certain amount of TNA in these movies, they're not going to sell? Like, was it in their DNA of making these movies that, like, it's just, we got to work this in? Because we see Maria take off her top. We see the sister and her friend. We see girls.
It's
like we usually.
It doesn't know what it's trying to do.
It serves no purpose. I mean, literally,
because it's not like sometimes they come back again is behind the beaded curtain at Hollywood Video or Family Video.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Stephen King movie. I don't know that this. I'm sure the scenes are in the book because things happen, and
remember, this isn't a book.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's there's maybe that's the point. You still felt the need to interject this into the movie in enough degree that it takes up what? I mean, if you put all those scenes together, 4 minutes, at least 4, maybe 5 minutes of screen time,
maybe
not a.
But it is like this movie doesn't. Yeah, it is one of those things that they probably got some executive notes, but like it's just so shoehorned in to the film.
Yeah, it really is especially because the sacrifice of the young girl by the 3 demons, sex is not part of the sacrifice.
No,
it has nothing to do with the ritual.
Yeah, it's just blood and a pentagram and electricity, kind of.
Electricity in a mine that has strangely been turned on for 40 years. Yeah.
Well, Bill, what's your final amusing moment of sometimes they come back, ... again?
I will say I'm going to give this movie credit. Finding facts about it, nearly impossible. Finding amusing moments, not that hard. So good for that. But here's my thing, Rob, and you tell me if I'm wrong. Why would you ever sacrifice your thumb?
I was going to ask you the same thing. I'm so glad that you brought that up because you've got many options.
Yeah, am I not? And am I not correct? The movie says, the characters in the movie say, false prophet must sacrifice a digit.
Yes.
It doesn't say your thumb. It says your digit. Take the pinky, man.
Take the pinky toe.
Seriously. That's true. It didn't say anything about it need to be on your hand.
No.
It said a digit.
Yeah.
Why? Why the hell would you cut off your opposable thumb?
This is a person who went to medical school and they still chose to cut off their thumb.
You can't even put this off on like the adrenaline of the moment, the ridiculousness of the situation. You've got time to think about it. I got news for you. I mean, if I have to cut off a digit, I have to.
If you have,
I got my choice. It ain't going to be one of the good ones.
One of the good ones. The thing from evolution that made us who we are today.
Exactly. Like, look, I love you, Pinky Fingers, but let's
You're
face
going
it,
before the thumb.
I can still hold a pen. I can
Yep.
still tell you things are good or bad. Like I need
Yep.
these.
Yes. Well,
Movie is
Bill,
insane.
I agree
It's an insane
completely.
choice.
But we have to rate this thing in our
Oh, yeah.
final moment of the episode. But for anyone who's tuning in who has never experienced Bill and Rob's An Excellent Adventure and hasn't joined our Patreon at patreon.com/Bill and Rob's, where you can get a ton of episodes, why don't you let them know how we like to rate these films?
We rate these films in what I think is one of the best ways there is. We call this section Five Nights for $1. And what that means is if you're old enough to remember video stores, which I'm sure all of us have been in one at some time or another, you can go into your local video store and it might be a rack or a shelf somewhere, front or in the back of the store. It might say something like Five Nights for $1. And there'd be a bunch of movies on there and you could go get your movie. And for $1, you could rent it and keep it for one night, or you could keep it for 5 nights. It's totally up to you based on how you felt about that movie. And that's what we do. We rate based on the movie we just watched. We do not compare to other movies in the series or the sequels or prequels or anything we've even watched in our own little sections that we make up. Rob's Kinkles, we will not compare it to other stuff. It's just this movie. You've gone into your video store in broad daylight, the brightest daylight there is, and you've gone down the thing, and you haven't thumbed through the movies because you have no thumb. You've pinkied through the movies, and we've come across. Sometimes they come back again. We throw down our buck. We walked out the door. We've gone. We watched it. How many of those 5 nights are we individually going to keep this movie? Who would you like to kick this one off, Robs?
Well, Bill, since this is my choice for this series, I think you should go first.
See, I can do this.
Yes.
This is a pretty easy one. I'm going to keep this for one night.
Wow.
It's not a good movie. As movies go.
But one night doesn't always mean bad movie
No.
either, just to be clear.
No. One night doesn't mean bad movie, because here's where we always play a little fast and loose sometimes with our rating system. It's one night, but I'm going to talk about this movie for way more than one night or 2 or 3 or 4. As a talker, this movie's going to hang around indefinitely.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just so wonky.
Yes.
It's a movie that you're going to say, hey, you want to know what a wonky movie looks like? Talk about it here. You want a horror movie that had a bunch of weird things that made me laugh? It's full of it. I mean, it makes an impression. It's got some things going for it. It's got an interesting prospect for a story. It's clearly one they mined 3 times, but you can do that. It's got some good actors. It's got William Morgan Shepard. Alexis Arquette is well used as the villain, the main evil of this movie.
Yeah.
The characters can be creepy. The movie lets the character down, but it's all there. I can't say Michael Gross is bringing a lot to the table on this one way or the other. I find him pretty bland at the best, but this movie also has a young Hilary Swank in it. And I gotta say, I like her character. She's believable. She's likable. Outside of a few questionable choices and choosing to go left or right with her decision, she's pretty smart. She picks up on what's going on. She doesn't quite see all the things, but you kind of root for her to the point where I really kind of hoping she would come around and become the hero of the piece.
Yes.
Instead of the dad. I was invested in her character that well. Didn't happen that way, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that that's what she inspired in me from watching this movie. And even though I didn't get it, she managed to do it, which is good. It's just, it's the epitome of the straight to DVD movie. There's some love in it, but there's just not enough love to go around, and not enough love made it to the logic of the story. So I'm in no way interested in watching this movie again anytime in the near future, but was very interested in talking to my buddy Robs about it after I watched it. So one night in the hand is more than enough And sometimes they take the movie back to the video store.
Sometimes we rent again.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, I'm not going to deny you your one night. So if I've got $1 and I go to the 5 nights for $1 rack, I'm at movies at home in Kansas City, and I'm saying, what am I going to get? It's Friday night, 1996. I'm in 6th grade. I'm just getting to that level of being able to watch horror movies, and maybe, I get what I get. I believe that I would keep this for 2 nights, mainly because if I watched it like I watched now as an adult, it would take me 2 nights to watch this movie. But I'm gonna finish the movie. I'm not just gonna turn it off and return it and go get Wayne's World or something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish this because I still want to know where the story goes. I was, for everything we talked about, for everything you said, maybe let down a bit at the actionable items in this film. But I wanted to see the story through. And you got to hand it to it. There are some movies you turn on and you're like, I don't care, right? I watched Future Kill with Graham for Pumpkin Spice Podcast. If that was not for the episode, I probably would have turned that movie off and not cared. And am I glad I saw it all? Sure. Kind of. This one I cared. I was invested. The actors that are good are good. The actors that are bad are not terrible, right? They're still giving it their all in a script that was not given its all. So I give this 2 nights from the video rental for $1. And this concludes our first installment of Kingquels on Bill and Rob's An Excellent Adventure. If you subscribe to the Patreon, you'll be able to see this episode or listen to it at patreon.com/ not Vanderpump Robs, patreon.com/Bill and Robs, BILLANDROBS, where you can also get a ton of episodes Bill and I have done over the past couple of years, as well as every episode of Pumpkin Spice Podcast from this year, which has its public episodes dropping after Kingquels is out. So, Bill, super excited to be back on the movie watching train with you. Should I unveil what we're going to be streaming next week?
Yeah, like to give everybody a little heads up, but I'll also say, look, folks, don't short yourself. Check out Vanderpump Robs.
Okay.
Do all the things.
You don't even have to like reality TV. It's just a funny show.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, if they do that and we get up to, let's say, 50 patrons.
Oh, over at Bill and Robs?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll even drop it. We get to 25 patrons.
Okay.
Over at Bill and Rob's. Before Kingquels ends, I think we should do a live stream review of one of our movies while we both sit in a Burger King.
I love that.
And do this on IG Live and do our show from there.
I love that.
And we will have it your way because we're going to do it our way.
I love all of this. Bill, I think we should do Instagram Live again next week, and we should invite our friend Graham on if Graham is available.
Sure.
He's the co-host of Pumpkin Spice Podcast. When we watch Pet Sematary 2 with Edward Furlong. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Bill, thanks again for a wonderful episode. And we will see you all next time on Bill and Rob's An Excellent Adventure. All right, Bill, I'm going to go eat pizza and end this live now.
All right. I've already had my Italian sub, so I'm going to go and find some Tums and take care of that. So it'll be great.